to MGAM TV, and this week we're doing the game, and the game is Deadpool.
Deadpool!
Merc with the mouth.
Merc with the mouth. Deadpool is a hack and slash game, so if you like your hack and slash games, you're probably going to like this. But did you enjoy it, Joe?
As a comic book fan of X-Men, really enjoyed it. You've got the elements you expected from a Deadpool game. You've got the breaks the fourth wall, so in the comics he always talks to you, he knows in the comic you had exactly the same elements here. So it was enjoyable to be taught by his split personalities throughout the game, where you kill people and be told how to do it better, and how he ran out of budget for the rest of the game. What let me down for me is I've seen the gameplay before. It's not really original for what I wanted. A lot of combos and things that I've seen in previous X-Men games that Deadpool's featured in, I would have liked a bit more challenging boss levels, and that's about it really. But I enjoyed it.
I think the elements that I think you're right in terms of saying it's nothing new. I think it takes a lot of elements of other games and puts it into this one. But I think it kind of works. I think, you know, it's nothing new, but due to the length of it, excuse the pun, I think because of the length is quite short. It was a snack of a game, and you play it, you do it, and you want to get to the end. It's not like you don't want to get to the end, or this is boring, I've had enough. I did get to the point where I was kind of like, I want another area instead of Genosha where it was based. But Joe, what did you think?
That was my only negative. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. I have never heard of Deadpool before the game. I know, shock horror. But so it was good in terms of teaches you all about Deadpool. The whole learning about his split personalities. I think that's really nice. I think as a character, I think he's superb and really funny and keeps you interested the whole way through the game. But it was just too short. In my opinion, anyway. Because I know that I'm not going to play it again because it isn't a very replayable game. So that kind of lets you down because it's too short if you're never going to play it again. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I ain't going to play it again. I'll pretty much.
I would have been happy with the DLC.
Yeah.
But it's going back to the shop tomorrow.
Yeah,
unfortunately. Not because it's bad.
No,
just because.
I think like the other games, if you could play it again and keep all your perks that you've taken, I think the game takes about between 4 to 6 hours to do. You keep all those perks, you go back in, you're twice
sort
as
of
strong,
Last of Us kind of
and you've got all the all your weapons and stuff. But it literally, I just about got the big hammer things. I'm smashing a few people, realising that these aren't really. I think it was on one of the last bosses, realising that this isn't the weapon for a boss, but I just want to have a go at it because I'm getting to the end. I know it's getting to the end,
and it's your last chance.
I want to have a quick go with this weapon, and unfortunately, it hasn't got that element. I like the upgrade system. I thought it was fine, but again, I think I agree with you. It wasn't anything new in terms of the actual gameplay, but storyline, apart from the Genosha bit and that bit, but the fact that he breaks the wall, he talks to you, it's about his own game and how much budget he's got for the game and all these little elements. I thought were cracking.
And then that adds in some really
very
nice
funny,
elements.
very funny.
Like when he is breaking the fourth wall and talking about the game itself, and then he'll suddenly walk through a room and it goes to 8-bit, and it looks ridiculous and it sounds ridiculous.
So it goes to a top down,
but it's hilarious.
Top-down dungeon crawler, doesn't it, type thing, and he's running around
to impress his girlfriend.
Aww.
Yeah, I like that. And then he phones up the studio and says, "I need more budget," and he transfers money over, and then all the graphics get better, I suppose. But the graphics weren't that good in the first place.
No, that was a bit of a letdown.
He looked good.
Oh, definitely.
When he's sat on the couch before you start playing, you think that's obviously in game.
They spent a lot of money on the trailer, and all those bits that were in the trailer. I think brilliant. Yeah, the rest of it.
But it was generic office to a rubble building to a greeny area outside. Yeah, there was. I was playing it. And there was a guy just standing there for ages, and I went over and hit him, and then he was like, "Oh, hang on, you're here, are you?" And I thought, "Oh, that's quite clever. They've done that." I know it's a bug.
Yeah, I had a bug as well where I jumped up against a wall, and then it took me about half an hour to slide back down the wall, and no matter what jumping or moving I was
teleport.
Yeah, teleporting wasn't working at all. Nothing was working. I was just sliding down this wall for about half an hour.
Yeah. I think there was a few bugs in it. Yeah, Hack and slash, I think there's nothing new. I think it took a lot from other things and put them into here. It's better than some things that have been out recently.
It's better than the Wolverine game.
Yes, it's got its edge, and I think the fact of the actual like the storyline where he jumps in and out of the game and talks to you is cracking.
Yeah.
The little 8-bit things that you do and the fun little side scrolling stuff is great.
I really enjoyed
and
that.
it breaks you away from the game for a bit, and it is nice. And I think it gelled well.
Yeah.
The storyline is on what's the planet called?
Genosha.
It's not a planet, it's a country.
Country.
Just outside Sri Lanka. It's not really. I think the bit there was a bit. That's where I sort of gave it a bit of a score. I would have been happy just to run around the streets, fighting a bit of crime, and have him coming in and out of the character. I think the storyline was a bit.
I don't know. I enjoyed the storyline. The whole
story.
him making his own video games. And
I enjoyed that bit. I didn't enjoy this.
But that,
trying to get
for me,
sinister,
that,
who's like on this.
For me, that kind of made up for any negative elements on it, though, because you could pass it off as he would even say himself at some points how he didn't like that element of his own game, and not
I like
necessarily
the
about
Sentinels
Genosha,
bits. I thought that was quite cool, and I like when you meet a character and then it tells you about it quickly. So if you've not played any of the Marvel stuff and you don't really know, it's great, and I think it does it. We're gonna have to move on. So quick couple of lines and score.
So I like the story. I think could have been a bit of gameplay, but good for what it was. The bit that lets it down is I won't play it again. So I gave it 71.
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same as Joe. Really, really enjoyed it. It was a great game to play. Keeps you occupied, funny, and you learn all about Deadpool if you're like me and has never heard of him before. But yeah, problems in terms of replayability. But I gave it 76.
Yeah, I think it's a snack. I think you can go and get it, chomp on it a bit, and then throw it in the bin. So I think it's a rentable. Maybe rent it for the weekend. You'll clock it in no time. The length's usually about between 5-6 hours, 4 or 5 hours, something like that. So for that reason, I gave it 68, and that gives it an MGAM total score of 72. Is that bronze?
Yeah, bronze.
That's a bronze. I'm happy with that.
Fair enough.
Deadpool. And this is a review show, by the way, and that's me breaking the fourth wall. And that's a camera.